Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series fires things off for race number 4, and it looks like we've got a little bit of problems here. What a way to start the night off, right? Here we go. And after a little bit of a hiccup at the start of tonight's broadcast, hopefully we've got them gremlins out the way. First and foremost, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight as always. Bringing you the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, we're going to jump straight in to our national anthem. Gary Bowman taking the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award here tonight. Quick time in qualifying 31:22. We're going to head straight to the front stretch to our national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And quickly back trackside as drivers make their way on the pit road, getting ready to roll off for tonight's Coca-Cola Spiced 195, 130 laps around this mile-and-a-half track, repaved, revamped. We're going to see how Atlanta Motor Speedway goes here tonight as drivers begin to fire the engines and get ready to roll off. Fans in the stands beginning to come to their feet. Photos are getting ready to be taken. Thousands in attendance here tonight as we roll off. You can hear those familiar sounds in the background. You know it's time to run down tonight's premier racing setup. Starting lineup, starting inside row number 1, snatching the pole position with a quick time 31:21 behind the wheel of the 08, Gary Bowman. Dan King gonna start just to his outside with Jerry Isaacs and Kyle Nadu in row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight, Cody Richardson and Cody Heinzman. Matthew Hall and Corey Sherman back in row number 4 tonight. In row number 5, Judd Danielson, and rounding out your top 10, Jarrett Camilli. Ed Jurgen, Nathan Dufton back in row 6. Row number 7 tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway, William Kern and Dave Sanders. Alan Ayers, Chris Letts in row 8. Row number 9, Casca and Flanagan. Music and Finmore round out your top 20 with Delgado, Turner, Dorsey, and Gainforth. Finishing out the 25-car field here tonight, followed by Darrell Richards' pace car already in. We're set to roll here tonight for the first time as we enter the restart zone. Bossman in the flag stand gets ready, and away we go. Green flag flies from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the Blackstone 08 will lead the first lap of tonight's race. Get across the line. The pole sitter will put a lap lead in his back pocket. Dan Keene falling back just a little bit on that high side. But this repaved, reconfigured, rebanked Atlanta Motor Speedway, super speedway style racing. Not quite at super speedway speeds, but still we're going to see a lot of back and forth, a lot of side by side throughout the course of tonight's Coca-Cola Spiced 195, lap number 3 already underway. Top 10 still side by side. Big pack double file still here as we work our way off of turn number 4. Get across the line. We'll drop the timing and scoring over to the left-hand side. You can see where your favorite driver is here tonight. Try to follow along and find him throughout the course of tonight's 130 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Inside line, falling back just a little bit that time off of 4, making some headway now. Back down the backstretch and into turn 3, inside lane with the advantage. Back to the point once again goes Bowman, so yet another lead change here. 4th lead change of the night. Lap number 4 completed. 5 goes on the board. So a much different race this week, right? Last week we watched a dominating performance out front. Unfortunate circumstances, electrical problems, issues took our race leader out of contention. Andrew Casca walks away with the race win from Circuit of the Americas, turning left and right. You don't want to find yourself turning right here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. That definitely is not going to be the fast way around the track. You're definitely going to find yourself no pun intended, with a handful of wheel. That's about all you're going to have left. Lap 6 completed, still side by side for the race lead. Top 10 pretty much where they started here tonight. A little bit of jockeying for positions as these lanes gain and lose some momentum, some energy now being gained on the high side. Numbers to the top with a big gap after your top 3. On the bottom of the racetrack, still trying to make something work. The GoPro 85 of Dan King powers around the outside with help from the 97 of Nadu. How about this race, fans? 8 laps on the board. We have been side by side all the way back outside of your top 15. I mean, let's go back here with Chris Letts in the 65 machine running on that outside lane. Still has the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan behind him. The Sanders right here at the rear of this field, and everybody's still packed up. Alan Ayers and Daryl Richardson. Pretty much your only 2 drivers that are not in this pack. Let's go back here. Here you can see them playing things a little bit safe early here tonight in the Coca-Cola Spiced 195. If you haven't tried it, go grab yourself one. I promise you. Well, I won't say I promise you you'll like it. If raspberry's your thing, you're definitely going to love this one. Coca-Cola Spiced coming out in stores just recently. Go grab yourself one. Grab a Coke and smile. Shameless little plug. No, not being paid for it, but why not throw it out there, right? Anyways, gonna watch as this Bruzies, number 85 machine, tries to make his way up through the field. 24 of Matthew Hall just to the outside. No real clear-cut advantage for either line, really. It's just been a back and forth accordion effect. And we're quite accustomed to seeing those accordion effects at Daytona, at Talladega, on your mainstays, right, of the super speedway restrictor plate style racing. And Atlanta Motor Speedway now producing some of, I won't say some of the best super speedway racing, but it gets pretty interesting, that's for sure. Going to continue to watch things unfold here tonight. Let's take a little different vantage point of tonight's race. That you can see drivers jockeying for position, jumping from that inside lane up to the high side. And what's happening here is drivers are getting caught up and having to slow up a little too much. They see the opportunity to make a run to the high side. They're going to go up there. They start getting bottlenecked a little bit. Drivers drop back down to the bottom, creating that momentum, creating that energy. And that inside lane will slowly start to push forward. And once again, we're going to jump inside of the car now. A handful of these drivers with onboard cameras for us here tonight. Previous race winner, Jared Camilli. With our Chevy onboard camera here tonight, Camilli up into the 11th position. Dropped 1 spot from where he qualified, but still right here in the mix. About the 5th or 6th car outside lane. As there you can see the inside starting to gain that momentum. We'll take a look from inside of the Toyota. The Camry of Cody Richardson. Richardson running in the 6th position. 3rd car inside lane. 4th car, we believe, inside lane. Richardson hugging that double white and red line. Out of bounds line here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Something these drivers haven't been quite accustomed to in the past at Atlanta. Really going to have to pay attention to that as well. Fastest Ford in the field back here, our Ford onboard camera here tonight being carried by Paul Turner, sitting in the 20th position. And it looks like these Ford drivers all grouped together. Turner, Dorsey, Gainforth, Ayers. We're going to take a look back off of the tail end. There's a little look at his Ford teammates here. All 4 Fords just kind of hanging out in the back right now, sitting in 20th. Back through 23rd, so these drivers just content to ride, hang on, and see how the rest of this race develops. Meanwhile, rest of this field still throwing blows, haymakers, if you will. Gonna take a little look here. Center of the pack, 92 Van Jurgen looking pretty good here tonight. Jurgen able to gain a position or two. As we are 17 laps into tonight's green flag action, live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, you're watching the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. And with this being race number 5 of the season, we haven't really begun to talk about the championship just yet. But with this being race number 5, we're beginning to move towards that midway point in the season where we will start to bring you the points updates week in and week out. Let you start to get an idea of where your driver is in the championship. 4 races so far this season, 4 new fresh faces to victory lane. No repeat winners so far here tonight. So victory lane prime real estate. Will see if one of our previous winners gets to victory lane here tonight. Jerry Isaacs showing the way, leading for that collective group. Isaac sitting behind the wheel of that 51 machine in the 5th position, trying to make some headway here, but not really going anywhere on the bottom of the racetrack. 97 of Kyle Nadu. Classic Lotus paint scheme on board of that number 97 Camaro, outside lane pushing the GoPro. 85 of Dan King. Ton of side-by-side action still remaining here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll cross the line. Lap number 21 is going to go on the board. Dan Keene going to put yet another lap lead in his back pocket as he continues to lead that outside lane. The inside lane struggles just a little bit, becomes firing back down the backstretch, but the high side prevailing at the line, allowing Keene to lead the lap. Once again at the line, Dan King gonna barely have the nose of his Camaro out front of Bowman on the bottom of the pole sitter. Working the wheel hard, trying to get that inside lane a little bit of momentum. Try to get it, see if they can't somehow break away. That's some of the biggest troubles or biggest problems. Really, when restrictor plate racing is. You want to get with a driver or two that can break away from the field, but it is so tough to get those runs that can generate that distance. Really, most distances come from the green flag pit stops, come from big moments on the track. Bump drafts gone wrong, things of that nature. We'll see if we see anything like that happening throughout the field here tonight as we go on board. Another great onboard camera shot. Big shout out to all of the teams and drivers allowing us to get with them and put a little bit of extra weight in their rides to provide some great onboard camera shots for us here tonight. Riding with Judd Danielson sitting in the 8th position, 5th car back inside lane. A little further back, Coleridge Finmore running to the bottom of the racetrack. You can see Finmore leaving a little bit of a gap, closing in here. Have some gaps beginning to develop. The tail end of this lead pack. Finmore sitting in the 16th position. You can see the bad Weather Brewing Company 77 machine of Sanders just to his outside. Koska not too far off in front, sitting in that 86 Spartan, Mad Spartan Racing machine just in front of him. There it is, first time tonight. Let's jump back out. Let's go back up front. Outside lane really starting to pull away now. 3, make it almost 4 cars to make their way around. Will they drop to the bottom of the racetrack or stick to the high side? And see, if it's me, I want to stick to the high side. I want to stay right where we've been running. We're comfortable here. We've got a good line. We're pulling away. Let's just keep doing what we're doing here Maybe we'll drag the guys from the bottom of the track up to the top, but let's not worry about going down there. And you can see for a moment down the backstretch. For a moment down the backstretch, it looked like Keane wanted to bring the drivers to the bottom. That slowed the momentum on the high side, has allowed the inside lane to come fighting back. Big move in the back. I believe that's going to be the Duncan sponsored machine of Brian Dorsey making a pretty big move at the tail end of this field. Great racing action here as we head down the backstretch to lap number 28 underway. Flag to flag action so far here tonight for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. You're watching the Coca-Cola Spiced 195 right here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. 29 laps go on the board now. And with 29 laps into this green flag run, we gotta start thinking about that pit strategy. When are drivers gonna be coming to pit road? I would expect to see him within another 10 laps or so. You can really start to see some drivers falling back now. Brian Dorsey, Dave Gainforth, fourth, Paul Turner, Jared Camilli, all starting to drift back from this lead pack. Alan Ayers, Darrell Richardson also 9 seconds back from there. So now two separate packs developing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The inside lane shot out of a cannon. Check this out here. Outside lane with problems. Losing a ton of track positions. They're going to fall about 4 car lengths back from the race leader. And could it be drivers on the high side starting to eyeball coming to pit road? In order to get to pit road, you got to be on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the safest way to get there, right? You don't want to play the game of I'm going to stay to the high side, try to come down pit road. Maybe one of these drivers on the inside lane isn't coming to pit road. You get clip spun night over. And a lot can go down during green flag pit cycle exchanges, so we may see that high side backing up to try to find a way to the bottom. And just as we say that, they're going to prove us wrong, surging back once again to the high side. We'll go 3 wide for a second with the back marker of Christian Delgado, keeping it to the high side. Delgado, the 13 high velocity machine, has just had a little bit of trouble here tonight. He's going to find himself multiple laps down, but still going to try to soldier on throughout the course of tonight's race, sitting about 20 miles an hour off of the base. Big engine problems here tonight for Delgado. So we'll head back to the front, single file, bottom of the racetrack. Your top 3, nose to tail, Bowman, Isaac, Richardson leading Danielson, Jurgen, Keane, Koska, Nadeau, Heinzman, and Sherman round out your top 10. And here it is, green flag pit stops right around the corner. You can see that telltale sign. Single file racing, bottom of the racetrack at a super speedway. Yep, you're going to have some green flag pit stops right around the corner. Just under 100 laps remaining here tonight as drivers continue to pound the pavement. Everybody dropping to that inside lane, trying to find a way to the bottom. Dan Keane has found a way. Now just the 86 of Koska stuck on that high side. Gotta be a lonely run right now. And what a gentleman move right there. You can see Keane back up just a little bit to the 97 of Nadeau, who's been running nose to tail with him all night long. So a gentleman effort right there, going to get Koska to the bottom of the racetrack. You'd expect the favor back if you're behind the wheel of that GoPro machine, but you know, you got frenemies when it comes to super speedway racing. We're going to work together till it's no longer beneficial for me. Yeah, I said it. And you know what it is. That's how every race car driver approaches these things. You can't tell me you haven't done it yourself. Running well with a driver through a super speedway race and come down those final 2 laps. You're in position to either stay with them or go grab the race win, and what do? Come on, don't lie to us. Don't tell us any stories. We know what you do. You go for the race win. If not, you wouldn't call yourself a race car driver. Just saying. Nobody comes to finish second. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. Anyways, moving on, lap number 38 goes on the board as we cross the line. Bowman leading this long train of single file cars now all the way back through your top 13, lined up right here in a row. Small gap back to Matthew Hall, the 24 machine, riding with Chris Letts, Nathan Dumpton right here. These drivers still mixing things up side by side. They're gonna have to get it figured out before that front pack starts to step away a little too much. I mean, already a 3.2 second disadvantage. These guys are going to have to get things together quick. I mean, it's a nice little pack here. Don't get me wrong. Let's see. We're looking at about another 10 drivers here in this second pack. I don't know. We're going to see how it all pans out, how it all plays out. Roll the 9 way up the racetrack. Brian Dorsey way up the racetrack. Somehow everybody going to make their way through. Single file now look for this second pack being led by Coleridge Finmore. Or I apologize, Chris Letts Finmore, final driver in tow on this lead pack. Front 13, nose to tail, back across the line. Lap number 41 goes on the board. We are just about a third of the way through tonight's race. So things heating up quickly here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Green flag pit stops right around the corner. Don't go anywhere, race fans. You do not want to miss any of the action right here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, back at the front. Man on point. Your premier racing setup pole award winner. Behind the wheel of that Blackstone sponsored 08, Gary Bowman continues to lead laps here tonight. Jerry Isaacs, he hasn't really been able to do much, but hasn't really looked to go anywhere and do much anyway. Seems to be pretty happy. Seems to be pretty content just to kind of ride here. You know what I mean? We've got ourselves, what is it, about just under 90 laps remaining. Let's go ahead and log some of these laps. Let's get some of this done. We're running at the front. The car's nice and clean. No real issues, no real problems. Let's just stay right here, nice and smooth. Get this round of green flag pit stops under our belts, and then let's see what we do, right? But as we cross the line for lap 44, the crew chief mentality in me starts to come in. What about you out there watching in TV land? What do you start thinking about when it comes to the strategy? Not a lot of rubber has been laid down here in Atlanta since the repave and the reconfiguration. Do you risk it? Whoa, big moment at the front. Woo. Big moment at the front. Gary Bowman dropping like a rock, and that created a huge problem. My goodness. About wadded up quite a bit of them. Bowman and Jurgen gonna head to pit road. Oh my goodness. As we were trying to think about and saying, it looks like we've got another driver to pit road. Dan Keane gonna come to pit road very early here. Keep in mind, entry to pit road is on the backstretch. You do have to pull down early, and I wonder if that may catch a handful of these guys out here tonight. But nonetheless, the new super speedway surface, do you go with 2 tires? Do you get the 4 freshies? Or do you somewhat risk it for the biscuit and go no tires, simply fuel? Majority of the field is going to come to pit road this time around. 29 of Judd Danielson going to stay out on the racetrack. He's going to begin to log some laps led here. How long will he keep his machine out there on the racetrack? That's the big question. That's the big ask here. Man alone. Man, that's got to be a lonely, lonely place. Pit road this time around, so quickly going to complete our green flag pit cycle. Nathan Duffton, Jared Camilli, they have yet. Interesting. Yet to hit pit road. And here they are. Hitting pit road this time around, so that will indeed complete the round of green flag pit stops. We're going to take a look back here. Dan Keene up to speed. Leapfrogging a handful of these drivers on that inside lane. There you can see familiar teammate with the big pushes early here tonight. Going to be left to fend for himself in the back. Finmore with a great pit stop. You can see him inside of your top 10 now, sitting in the 8th position. And how about the flip right there? Amazing job. Go up here once again with your race leaders. Nathan Duffton with a little bit of a moment. Duffton with an issue. Duffton problems getting going off of pit road. He's going to get that Mobil 1 Toyota Camry fired off and headed in the right direction, but he's going to lose a ton of ground and a ton of time. Meanwhile, new race leader at the front of this field. That's what we were trying to get to. Cody Richardson going to take the top spot for the first time here tonight. Andrew Koska in tow with Heitzman, Isaacs, and Finmore. Now rounding out your top 5. And how about the run from this 80 machine up 15 positions from where he qualified, all the way back in 20th, all the way now inside of the top 5. Solid on and off pit road. Quickest by far, almost a second quicker on and off pit road. Pit crew time for Finmore. A little bit quicker as well. A little bit of strategy may be coming into effect for Finmore. Did he get it full of fuel? Only 12.5 seconds in the box. Most of this lead pack stationary for 14.5 seconds on pit road. Did Finmore get enough fuel? Will he need as much fuel? Riding here, sitting in 5th, you're able to save a ton of gas. Right? You're able to stay out of the throttle. Keep the pace. So lap after lap, you are saving some fuel. May not be substantial amounts of fuel, but enough to keep you right here with this lead pack. We'll see how things continue to unfold. Your top 7 is stepping away. Let's go back here to Corey Sherman leading this second pack. Pole sitter Bowman right behind him, and Bowman a little bit of a rough go to pit road, right? A little bit of a tough time. Jumped to pit road pretty abruptly in front of the field, almost wadding in front of this pack up. Gave up a little bit of time on and off pit road. 44, almost 49 second pit road delta. Almost 45, I apologize. Second pit road delta for that. Oh, wait, a Bowman. I mean, that's going to be almost a full 2 seconds slower than Finmore. Small 5-car pack here as we cross the line. Lap number 55 gonna go on the board here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's catch some more action a little deeper in the field. Outside of your top 15, still running for positions, jockeying around this racetrack. 6 drivers going at it here. Gonna take a look at Matthew Hall. He's got Camille just in front of him. William Kern and Jeremy Flanagan gonna mix up some action. 31 of Kern gonna go to the high side. He's gonna give up a handful of spots here. Looks like he's gonna head to the tail end of this 7-car train. Starting in that 12th position, the 72 of Flanagan showing the way, and it looks like that's what we've got. We've got some leapfrog action going on here. Looks like some methodical swapping going on. The 7-car pack playing a little bit of leapfrog here at Atlanta. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it done in NASCAR. I've seen the leapfrog drafting strategy out of the open wheel, out of the Indy cars, out of those Dallara IR18s. Haven't really seen it utilized in these Cup machines. We'll see if it pans out. We'll see if it plays out. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, Richardson still showing the way. Koska, Heinzman, Isaacs, Finmore, Sanders inside of your top 6. In what went from just one previous race winner inside of your top 5 to now 3 inside of your top 6. Just a handful of laps, just a matter of laps. We're on pit road, let's call it 15 laps ago, right around lap 45, 46, drivers came to pit road. So that's just how quickly things are changing here, how fast this race is developing in front of us. We're 5 laps away from the halfway point here tonight, about 15 laps away, or I apologize, about 25 laps away from our second round of green flag pit stops and what could be our final stop of the race as well. So a lot going on as we enter the mid portion of tonight's race, being sponsored by the Coca-Cola Spiced. Who do we got, race fans? I'll tell you what, we haven't spoke very much about this man behind that Ream number 4 machine. Paul Turner behind Jeremy Flanagan, and it looks like these two drivers losing a little bit of time. Flanagan was leading that second 7-car pack. Remember, he went to the high side to kind of help along that leapfrog scenario they were attempting and trying. He has since lost that pack, fell back to Paul Turner here. Now these two are going to try to see if they can run down William Kern. They've got Gainforth and Music right behind them. And this is where you start worrying, right? This is where things start running through your head, whether or not this was the correct strategy or not. You're sitting. I mean, Gainforth right now is sitting 25 seconds back from your race leader, Cody Richardson. We're going to go right here to Richardson. Let's see, because it's going to be about 4 to 5 seconds. And you're going to start to see some of these back markers, some of these lead lap cars beginning to be put in jeopardy of falling off of the lead lap. Let's go on board here with Heitzman as he makes his way down the backstretch, running in that 3rd position. Cody running well here tonight. There you can see just off in the distance, going out of turn number 4 already. Now on the front stretch, crossing the line right there. You can see those 2 packs of tandem drivers trying to somehow scoot away from this lead pack that is absolutely flying here tonight. Over 185 miles an hour getting into turn number 1. I don't see how if you're a 2-car tandem, I don't see how you keep yourself out front. I don't see it. Corey Sherman going to lead this second group of drivers. 5 drivers lined up here trying to make some headway. They haven't really lost any more time. They just really have been stagnant right here, right at that 4.5 second mark. From that lead pack, they haven't been able to gain, haven't really lost anything. Just hold and serve for the moment. As we are halfway through tonight's race, I don't know that hold and serve is going to be good enough. Some drivers hoping, wishing, needing a caution to hear tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We have been clean and green all night long in the Coca-Cola Spiced 195 for race number 5 with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Out front, showing the way, Cody Richardson has Casca, Hines, Isaacs, Finmore here top 5. Nose to tail, down the back stretch. Once again, let's rejoin your race leaders as they begin to close in on some lap traffic. Lap traffic to the high side. Race leader is going to keep it wound up at the bottom. As a handful of drivers will lose a lap. Now the 72 compounds the problems. A little bit of contact with the outside wall through 3 and 4. That's going to slow his roll just a little bit more here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. 5 laps past the halfway point. We are just about 15 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops begin for the second time in what could be the final time here tonight. While we've got a moment in the action, I want to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you tuning in with us here tonight. If you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Let them know you enjoy the content they produce and provide week in, week out, each and every Thursday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Cyber Thunder Racing right here on iRacing.com. Some of the best in the business. If you've been a fan over the course of these first handful of weeks, you've noticed one thing, and that's these guys go green flag racing. We have had a short list of cautions. We're almost 1,000 laps already here this season. These drivers do not pull punches. They do not play games. Some of the best in the business. And I want to give a shout out to each and every one of the drivers out there on the track. What a season so far. So if you haven't already, remember to keep in mind before you go, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these guys know you enjoy all the racing action, not just here tonight, but each and every night. So let's get things back on track here. We're about 58 laps away from the end of tonight's race. Looks like everybody took 4 fresh tires. Everybody has 2 more sets of tires on pit lane. I don't think we're going to see a lot of strategy here. I think we're going to see another 4-tire stop. I think drivers a little bit weary of doing a no-tire stop. With the unknowns of this track, really, you don't know what these tires really are going to do. You do have a little bit of a measuring stick with that first cycle of tires. I'm sure the teams have been down there analyzing, going over the tire data, seeing what they think they can do, what they may try to do. But I would expect to see all of these drivers with a 4-tire stop. You got to get enough fuel in it anyway, so you're already might as well put on 4. What's an extra 3 seconds to put on those left sides? Big pump trapped on the front stretch. Andrew Koska with a big pump on the back of the teammate. Some great races in the upcoming weeks here for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. We're going to head to Michigan International Speedway next week, followed up by Charlotte, then back to a short track. We're going to hit America's Heartland. We're going to head to Iowa Speedway just before finishing out the month of April with the Indy 100. And we're going to do a little 2-step down in Texas, and that will finish off the month of April. But we've got to get through tonight's race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Coca-Cola Spiced 195, 130 laps in tonight's featured event. We've been watching Cody Richardson lead this front 13-car pack, another 5-car pack right here, being led by Sherman, Bowman, Jurgen Nadu right here, as well as Judd Danielson, Jared Camilli now leading a 3rd pack here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's go back here to Camilli. He's got his Alt Construction Machine leading this 5-car pack, trying to close in on Dan Keene and that 5-car pack in front of him, but with about a 20-second deficit. And that's gonna be, it's gonna be rough. Just saying, it's gonna be pretty darn rough. Gonna jump around a little bit. What do you say we go? Let's find the 77 of Dave Sanders. There you can see Sanders right behind Coleridge Finmore. And how about Finmore? He's been a pretty quiet competitor so far this season. Could tonight be the breakout race that Finmore has been looking for? Running inside of the top 15 positions from where he qualified, and has a fast previous race winner behind him, and a fast previous race winner in front of him. Isaacs in front, Sanders right behind him. Dan Keene right here in that 85 GoPro machine. Keene's got a fast hot rod here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's led a handful of laps. The green flag pit cycle kind of took some of that away from him, but still right here in the mix. Absolutely amazing job by these drivers at the front of this pack. 7 of them now breaking away, and green flag pit stops right around the corner. We're going to have ourselves green flag pit stops, second round of green flag pit stops here, and I would expect about the next 7 to 10 laps. And that's going to set us up for a run to the end. Could we see tonight's Coca-Cola Spiced 195 go flag to flag? Will we see an entire 195 miles of green flag racing here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway? These drivers doing their best to give it to you. We'll see if they can get the job done. For the moment, Richardson will lead them back across the stripe. Lap number 84 going to go on the board. jumping around the track just a little bit, trying to bring you some more of the high speed action here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll cross the line, lap 87. Now on the board, drivers inching closer and closer to the final handful of laps. We've got less than 50 to go here tonight in the Coca-Cola Spiced 195 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, brought to you by Butt Kicker. Their haptic transducers put all the feeling beneath your feet. Feel what you've been missing with Butt Kicker. Back as a perennial sponsor once again, as always, the best American bully breeders in Western North Carolina. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, as well as X. That's Mountain Mafia Kennels. Once again, you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and, well, what used to be Twitter. Mountain Mafia Kennels, champion bloodlines. If you're in the market for a brand new pup, promise you will not be disappointed. Champion, tried, true bloodlines. Check them out once again. That's Mountain Mafia Kennels. We would be remiss if we didn't mention our poll award sponsor, the longest running setup shop involved with iRacing.com. That's Premier Racing Setup. If you're looking for the edge over your competition, go with what has been proven. The longest running in the game over at Premier Racing Setup. They got something for every ride, whether it's open wheel, NASCAR, dirt tracks, they've got them all. Head on over to Premier Racing Setups. Green flag pit stops underway. Thought they were going to catch us off guard. Everybody gets woe down in time. Whoa! 72 does not. German Flanagan gonna have a problem coming to pit road. Dave Gainforth possibly had an issue here. Richardson on the pit road. This time around, Camilli, Hall, Dorsey, Lentz, Kern, and Ayers yet to hit pit lane. Things gonna have a big mix-up here, as this pack of 5 drivers gonna stay out here, extend this fuel run. They could possibly begin to put a handful of drivers a lap down. There you can see right there on the bottom of the racetrack, losing a lap. I believe that's going to be the 09. And it's going to be short-lived loss of a lap. Is Camilli going to bring Hall, Dorsey, Lentz, Kern, and Ayers to pit road with them? And how about this? Coleridge, Finmore leading the charge. Built to speed. And we got a caution. Oh my gosh. We have got a caution. What has happened? Let's go back. Let's take a look. Drivers were entering pit road, and there's the problem right there. 24 gonna have an issue. Matthew Hall with a problem coming to pit road. We're gonna take one more look at it with the 09 of Music. Gonna catch a huge lick on the front of that car. No wonder we seen the caution flag fly. Let's see if we can get one more look at it here. Yeah, just catching it a little bit late. Looked like a little too fast coming to pit road. Back up on the track goes the 24 and up into the racing line, and nowhere to go for Stephen Music, and he's going to make some significant contact and more than likely will put an end to the race for him here tonight. We're going to see just our 3rd retirement. First caution of the night. So with that being said, we're going to step away, pay a handful of these bills. You know how that goes. Got to keep these sponsors happy, to keep all of you out in TV land happy. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed, laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And we bring you back live trackside as promised, not missing any of the action. Pace truck lights are off, field into 3, we're ready to restart. The Coca-Cola Spiced 195 will cautions breed cautions. Will we see a big mix-up? Will we see 3 wide? With less than 35 laps to go, drivers are going to have to push the issues now. Bump's going to get bigger. Block's gonna begin to develop this field. Off of 4, coming to the restart zone once again on the gas, and away we go. Green flies for the second time here tonight. Again, we had a little bit of a moment there, didn't? The words wouldn't come out. I was trying, they just didn't want to work. Richardson and Heinsman gonna pull away quickly here on the restart. Not quite sure that's what you want to do, but that's gonna allow them the opportunity to pick the lane that they want to overtake. Outside lane with the advantage now, back across turn number 4, coming to the stripe. Lap 96 on the board. Leader stay at the bottom. Big moment there for Sanders. Ooh. A huge moment for Dave Sanders on the bottom of the racetrack behind the wheel of that Bad Weather Brewing Company 77 machine. Big moment there. That's going to stack that inside lane up. Somehow, they were able to keep it surging toward the front. Richardson and Koska going to drop to the bottom of the racetrack. Richardson still in control of the race, lead the NOS Energy. Sponsor number 28, Machine of Heinsman, said he wants to lead that outside lane. He's got a hard charging 85 of Dan Keene right behind him. Keene has been quick here tonight, right around the corner from that 100 lap threshold. We'll make our way back through 3 and 4. Richardson still with the race lead. Will drop the timing of scoring back to the left-hand side. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. Inside lane really starting to walk away now. 4-5 drivers making it clear of that high side. The numbers starting to go away. As drivers bail from the high side, the run from the top beginning to head the wrong direction. Lap 100 now on the board. One caution here tonight, back on lap number 90. 5, I believe it was. Let's not put out any fake news. Let's make sure we bring you some accurate information. And yes, and indeed it is going to be caution on lap number 92. Caution flag flew. Lap 92, back green flag racing here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. You're watching the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. 4 drivers still clear on that inside lane as the numbers begin to grow to the top side. Coolbridge Finmore, he's been on a tear through the field here tonight. Finmore at one time up 15 positions. Was your race leader right as the caution flag flew. He came back to pit road, regrouped, and reset. Now he's got to rerun his way back through this field of 9 positions. Once again is Finmore, so look for that number 80. Third car, outside lane. Look for Finmore to make some moves. And what about 3 wide? We haven't even talked about 3 wide racing yet here tonight. Will we see anybody go 3 wide? This track isn't a very wide track. 3 wide is possible. It's going to be a tough one, right? You're going to have to really trust the drivers to your inside and outside. But they can hold the pretty wheel. Atlanta not as wide as Daytona, not as wide as Talladega, so that 3 wide action may suffer just a little bit. We'll see if it unfolds here tonight. Finmore going to drop from the top back to that inside lane. The run on the high side really just not going anywhere for the moment. Top 4 clear on that inside lane. Look at the teammates once again in the Mad Sim Racing stable of drivers dominating yet another race here with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. These guys, if they're on your radar, you can find them right at the front of the field typically. Week in and week out, these guys, they've got it figured out. Corey Sherman turning his race around, was outside of the top 10 prior to that caution flag. Now knocking on the door of the top 5, went to the high side, got okie doke just a little bit by that 97. Kyle Nadeau gonna head to the bottom of the racetrack, take the position away. Willie looked to lead that outside lane, still trudging along, still trying to make some headway, just no momentum. Just no momentum right now for that high side, and I would expect with 25 laps remaining, you're going to start to see some guys on the bottom of the racetrack get a little bit antsy, making up about a half a car length, and a big run now off of 4. Big run off of 4 for the high side. They're going to close in on that Bad Weather Brewing Company 77 of Dave Sanders' 4th car inside lane. Look at the trio go on the high side. Man, now making a run. You got them locked up on the bottom, though. That's going to be your biggest fight. You got those teammates nose to tail. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. I wouldn't expect to see any of them step out of line. At least not yet, right? I mean, maybe with 5 to go, maybe with 3 to go, they try to take that outside lane, play it a little cutesy, let the team control both lines. We'll see how strategy goes if there is any team orders here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway, but we are down to the final handful of laps. Only 1 caution here tonight, 22 to go as we cross the stripe this time by. Six cars now to the high side trying to make some headway, and it looks like every time, and I'm just being a little observant here, maybe I'm looking into this wrong, but it looks like every time they get some numbers, the high side kind of stalls a little bit, Right, they were really making some headway with just a trio. More drivers came up from that inside lane to help. The outside surge to the front, and it really hasn't developed. It hasn't went anywhere. A little bit of gain that last time by about a half a car length gain, but they are running into some lap traffic here. Let's see how these drivers navigate this short little 3 wide moment. Is in the center of the corner and into the outside wall. The 09 up music into the outside wall. That's going to break up that run on the high side a little bit. Some of the drivers on the tail end of that high side are going to lose a little bit of track position, trying to keep themselves safe and clear of the car in the outside wall. Everybody going to make their way by. We're going to have less than 20 laps to go here now in the Coca-Cola Spiced 195. Hasn't been any real clear cut. Again, we look for those cars that are dominant. We look for those cars that can pull the lines, that can step away, that can push. We've seen that 85 of Dan Keene. We've seen him lead a line. We've seen Nadu right there behind Sanders, trapped, 5th car in line, inside lane. We know he is a pusher. We watched him push Keene to the front earlier here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. These two drivers now boxed in. Unless they go for a 3 wide moment, they're boxed in. The move's gonna have to come from a big surge from the high side. And here it comes on the high side, now gaining some momentum. The 6 of Sherman starts to close in on a podium position. Big moment as the inside lane has to check up. 3 wide. Finmore gonna have to jump out of the gas. That's gonna help the outside lane once again. Look for them to surge down the backstretch. Laying back off of the 28. Look for a run here. Man, I'm telling you, these guys, some of the best in the business, looking to time this thing out, I can guarantee you. Looking at fuel mileage, you can never have fuel mileage out of your mind, right? You always got to be thinking strategy. You always got to be looking at things. Drivers came to pit road right around lap 90 to lap 92 to top off on fuel. That's 40 laps at minimum to get to the end of tonight's race. We've seen 44, 45 lap runs. So for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like we're gonna end up in a fuel mileage situation, but the 97 has had enough of follow the leader on the bottom. He's gonna jump to the high side to look to take that outside lane to the point. Nadu bails from the bottom, jumps to the top. 85 gonna drop from the top down to the bottom. We've got some moving going on. Drivers looking for the best line with 13 to go. Halfway through 1 and 2, they'll follow Richardson down the backstretch. And again, that outside lane, it gets a little bit of a run, but then it just seems to kind of stall out. Those teammates at the front doing a fine job of not being Trapped all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, but not going up and leaving that inside lane clear. Now the run off of 4 starts to make some moves, gain some headway here. Isaac's now going to be in jeopardy. He's going to have the 97 boxing him in. Don't look for that trio to make any moves. Now it's going to have to be up to the 2 at the front. Big push down the backstretch and into turn number 3. The 86 all over the back end of Richardson. And as we cross the line with 10 laps remaining here tonight in the Coca-Cola Spiced 195, if you haven't already, don't forget to show these drivers some love and appreciation before you go tonight. Be sure you drop them that thumbs up if you aren't already. Join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop the thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash that bell over there with the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live each and every Thursday night right here when the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. You can find them 7:40 Eastern Time. Each and every Thursday night, great racing action, week in, week out, day after day, here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, great racing action all week long. Be sure to hit that bell, get notified anytime we hit trackside. Here it is. Coming down to the final few laps tonight. Nadeau made a move from the bottom behind Sanders to the top, jumped in front of Corey Sherman, the 28 of Heinzman. He was up in second at one point in time, jumped to the outside to try to lead that lane to the point, wasn't able to get the speed they needed. 3 wide with Finmore in the middle. Things heating up. You know that storm brewing that you can look off on the coast, or maybe you're out in the Midwest and you can see for, those 2-3 miles, 5-10 miles at a time, just the open plains, and you see that dark cloud just in the background. You see it getting bigger, you see it getting darker, you feel the wind, you feel the intensity beginning to ramp up. You know something big's about to happen, and we're getting that familiar chill up our spine. We can see what's starting to happen. 2-3 wide racing here, not for the race lead. Finmore is stuck in the middle. Contact. Ooh. Sorry we get excited. Contact. The 9 of Dorsey into the outside wall. Finmore with some right side damage now. Meanwhile, front of the field with 5 to go. Big pushes here. Nadeau out of shape. Sanders out of shape on the bottom. Teammate still nose to tail. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. Richardson, Koska, and Isaacs will lead the way. Bottom of the racetrack, all lined up nose to tail. Here comes Finmore. He wants in the middle. He's going to make a way through. Finmore looking for a way to the front. Whew. Gonna have to step back in line with 4 to go here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. How about a move now? We've got a move. Look to see that 6 go to the middle. Thought better of it. Sherman gonna have to close back in now. Top 2 start to step away as Isaacs drifts back to Sanders. Calculated move there by Isaacs. He's going to drop back just a little bit to Sanders. Control the run. Back to the teammates showing the way. With 3 laps to go now, the Coca-Cola Spiced a 195. What a night of racing action here from the Super Speedway. These Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series drivers, an amazing job here tonight. Only 1 caution flag back at lap number 92. And speaking of 2 popsicle sticks, gonna go on display. Just 2 to go here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. 3 miles of racing action laid out in front of these guys. 2-3 wide. Finmore to the middle again, but it's going all to be for naught. Finmore gonna lose a position even though he looked to the high side. Things Looking good for the teammates. Front of the field off of turn number 4. Back across the stripe. White flag flies. Final lap here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Richardson leads Koska and Isaacs. Sanders sits in 4th. Danielson right behind him. Big moment there, the 85, all sorts of out of shape. He's gonna lose a position. Fingers to the top. Nadu looking for some room in the middle. 1, 2, 3, all across the line, and big wreck behind. Ooh, 1, 2, 3 across the line, but a big wreck behind. Oh my goodness, a lot of drivers gonna be involved in this one. Let's go back. Can we take another look, guys? Can we take a look and see what happened coming to the stripe? Let's take a look here. 3, 4 wide for a moment. Contact. More contact. They're going everywhere. Parking lot. Nadu involved. 28 all torn up. Ton of action there coming to the end of tonight's race and back to the line. Joined by his teammates. They're going to have a post-race celebration, a throwdown here. What a run tonight for your race leader, walking away with his first checkered flag of the season behind the wheel of the number 64 Mad Spartan Sim Racing Machine. Cody Richardson will enjoy his post-race celebrations on the front stretch. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And as promised, back trackside here at Atlanta Motor Speedway at the conclusion of tonight's Coca-Cola Spiced 195. What a race, what a night. Only seen one caution flag fly, and we're going to go to another unique podium opportunity. We're going to jump right in because once again, these teammates have managed to do it. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack once again. Man, guys, first, does it ever get old? And two, how do you guys keep doing this?
It never gets old. And I just want to say thank you before to Andrew and Jerry for sticking with me there. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, had that problem last week with the tornado warning coming through and the power going out and everything. I think I could have gotten my win there, but hey, Atlanta's another trek to do it. I learned everything I know about super speedway racing from Jerry. He taught me and Andrew both how to be as good as we are over here. I'm proud to be up here with him.
Practice, practice, practice. No, seriously, what you're saying, I think, is a benefit is we race together week in and week out, so that helps a ton.
Well, Jerry, I don't want to poke the bear or anything like that, but I think in a nonchalant, out of the way, he just called you old. He said both of these guys learned from me. So is he calling you the old man of the group? Is that what I'm getting here?
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is, so.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man,
It's a fact.
see. Oh, I didn't mean to open up that closet. My bad.
No. Hey, just because I don't have any hair, I'm not offended.
Well, Andrew, you walked away with the win last week because teammate had a little bit of problems. No problems here tonight. You finished second to him tonight. Does it take away from anything last week at all, or you know what I mean? How you feeling about finishing second to the guy?
I mean, last week I just felt really bad for the guy. Like, he should have really had that win. So, I mean, tonight I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to let you have this one. You deserve it. You should have had last week. So, I mean, it was a team effort, really, anyways, tonight, in all seriousness. I mean, we were planning on working with each other throughout the night, and whoever was leading at the end, they were going to get that win. And tonight that was Cody. So, glad he got that win. All three of us here, we have our wins this season locked into the playoffs, so we're ready to go to fight on to get in that Final Four.
And not
Cool.
only that, but 6 of the top 8 were our team and teammates. So, I mean, it wasn't just us. Like you said, it was the whole team effort going through here. Dan and Dave and Kyle all did really good as well, too, tonight. So it looks like, 6 of the top 8 were us. So I'm happy with that as a team effort.
So I know it's all in good fun, and I like to try to make some things happen sometimes, by some of the words I say. But so far tonight, amongst the teammates, we've got the winner calling the guy in third old. We've got the guy that finished second saying, yeah, he let the race winner win. Man, these teammates, man, did y'all even like each other?
I don't even know who these guys are.
I don't. I plead the fifth.
Don't know how they got the keys to the building, huh?
Jerry's just happy he doesn't have to hear me yelling and screaming like I was last night. So,
Well, guys, another amazing job for you and your team, and some of the affiliate drivers with your team. Again, just lights out performance from all three of you. You're back on the podium once again. We're going to be going to Michigan next, followed by Charlotte and then Iowa. Do you think we can possibly see the three of you stack up some more podiums?
I mean, I think at least one of us 3 are going to be on the podium the next 3 weeks for sure. Whether it's all 3 of us or whether our other teammates get up here as well again. I mean, I think other than the opening race, haven't you had Mad Sim or Mad Spartan Sim racing on the podium every Thursday so far?
Every single week.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it that way for the rest of the season if we can. So, hopefully you're talking to nothing but Mad Sim and Mad Spartan Sim racing. I'd love that.
Well, we'll have to see how the rest of the season unfolds. You guys are pretty much locking up as a powerhouse when it comes to these great race finishes. So before we step away from the track here tonight, we're going to step back and we're going to let each one of you give your final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
We'll go worst to first, man. I'll send a shout out as always. Thanks to the Cyber Thunder Racing League. Thank to you, Dave, for the broadcast. Mad Sim Spartan. I gotta thank the team, Andrew and Cody, for teaching me everything I know and letting me tag along with them. And hi, Mom.
Yeah, same as Jerry. Thanks to the whole league, Cyber Thunder, you as well, Dave, for broadcasting these races on Thursday night. Shout out to the whole MSSR teams. Shout out to girlfriend watching the phone or watching the race over on the other side of the room, and shout out also to Jerry and Cody's mom cheering us all on out there.
Yeah, all the sponsors for Mad Spartan and Mad Sim Racing are on the car here. You guys can check them out there. You've heard us say them enough. Thanks to everybody on the team. Thank you, Andrew and Jerry. Andrew, thanks for pushing me to another Super Speedway win this year. Hi to all the friends and family out there. Hi, Mom. Hi, Jerry's mom. And yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing you all again. Check out madsimracing.com and intotheapex.com. New podcast every week.
Well, gentlemen, as always, pleasure to catch up with you at the end of these things. I'm kind of getting fond of doing this 3-at-1 deal at the end. We'll see if we can keep this theme ahead and into the sunset over the course of these next handful of weeks. But until then, my friends, you guys don't have a problem with it. But as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yeah, have a good night, man. Thank you again.
Have a good one, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from your entire podium here tonight. Walking away once again, locking up 1, 2, 3. Those Mad Spartan drivers are just, man, I'm telling you, they're lights out. We might have to start inspecting their cars, scrutinizing the cars a little bit harder because they seem to have, I don't want to say an unfair advantage, but they seem to just have a little extra. You know what I mean? Not quite sure what it is, what it's about, but nonetheless, an amazing night here tonight. From Atlanta Motor Speedway, you can hear producers hitting those sounds in the background. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Coca-Cola Spiked 195. Live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, yet another great race as Cody Richardson will capture the checkered flag here tonight. Andrew Koska gonna come home second. Jerry Isaacs back in third, with Dave Sanders in fourth. Rounding out your top five, the Fast 29 of Judd Danielson. Kyle Nadeau gonna slide home in sixth, with Coleridge Finmore finishing in seventh. 85 of Dan Keene home in eighth. Ninth place tonight to Cody Hines, and Chris Letts finishes out your top 10. Ed Jurgen and Nathan Durkin and Dufton 11th and 12th. Gary Bowman back in 13th. Corey Sherman going to come home 14th tonight, parking it in 15th. Will be the 31 of William Kern. Matthew Hall going to fall back to 16th, with Brian Dorsey in 17th tonight. Jared Camilli, tough go at the end of tonight's race. Your previous race winner will finish in 18th. 19th tonight from Atlanta, Allen Ayers, with Dave Gain 4th, finishing out your top 20. Flanagan, Richards, Music, Turner, and Delgado will finish out your 25 car field here tonight for the Coca-Cola Spiked 195. What a night, what a race, what an event. We're going to begin to cut off the lights and roll up the cords and get ready to head to Michigan International Speedway for next Thursday's night's racing action. Whew. What more needs to be said? If you haven't already, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers love. Drop the thumbs up. Click subscribe and smash that bell. Over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every time you stop by, whether you're sliding in to say hey, or you are one of our dedicated fans, friends, or family, we appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So once again, thank you to all the fans, and until next time, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and we'll meet ya in Turn 3.